Good evening, everyone, and welcome out to the Midnight Cheese Grater 75, presented by MidSouth Madness. This is week number 3. I am Sean Griffith. I am here with my broadcast partner, Thomas Rutherford. Thomas, how are we doing tonight?
Atlanta, looking forward to a really good race. These drivers and teams have put in a lot of work this week. I think we're going to see a lot more green flag laps than we saw last week at Bristol. What do you think?
Yeah, Bristol was a little bit of a wreck fest, and so was Daytona the week before that. So it's going to be good to get out here to these mile-and-a-half-long tracks to kind of spread people out a little bit.
Yeah, and I know the guys were talking a lot last week, just couldn't get clear of each other. There was a lot of tight racing. We had, I can't recall how many cautions, but it was quite a few. So two stark different tracks that we're gonna be seeing between last week and this week.
Yeah, well, we have 75 laps to figure it all out tonight. 2 fast repairs, fixed setups in the Xfinity cars here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What do you know about Atlanta Motor Speedway there, Thomas?
So Atlanta Motor Speedway, obviously we're calling it the Midnight Cheese Grater 75 for a reason. This week in practice, talked to a lot of the drivers, actually got in a practice session myself, ran with them a little bit. Seems the right fronts are getting chewed off pretty bad here, so a lot of guys abusing their stuff early. I think through the amount of practice they've had, though, between drivers and teams, that a lot of these guys have learned to settle in, learned to use a lot of patience. I hope we see that in the racing tonight.
Well, let's see how everybody's doing so far this season. Let's pull up the current standings for the year. And you'll see over here on the left side, you will find that Bobby Brill and Dean Brummett, they have already checked their passports into the playoffs this season. And then, of course, you have the rest of the people that are in. And on the right side, you have those people that are currently out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a lot of names out of the playoffs right now. But again, Sean, we're early, right? We've been through 2 races. We're just now in week 3. And we've got a lot of guys on the left that aren't surprises, and we got a lot of guys on the right that are surprises that they haven't been up there higher as far as finishing positions and points. You got Bobby Brill and Dean Brummett. They're both winners. We got 2 different winners through 2 races. Maybe we'll get a third different winner here tonight in Atlanta.
I don't know. I have a feeling we might, but we do have some good competition out there this week. I do want to point out a couple of those names over on the right side. Mike Lepicki from Tank Racing. He was a superstar last season, and he's right there on the cut line again this season long. And then the other one that I want to mention is Chad Wampler from Stake Dance Racing. He's down in 33rd position. Really, he should be much higher than that.
Yeah, and I don't think we're counting them out just yet, right? We're early on in the season, as we just said. You got a lot of names over there. You can go down the list. David Duke, Danny Setzer, Justin Kruckman, Brandon Browning, Corey Knight. You said Chad Wampler. We got a lot of guys that were in this league in season 1. Coming into season 2, not the best start, but don't count them out just yet.
No, don't ever count them out here at MidSouth Madness, presented by Speed Racing Network. Hey, while we're on the subject, let's talk about Speed Racing Network a little bit. I know you sat down for an interview with the great Jason Tripp, and would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so this week at TR's Corner, new segment we brought to the broadcast. I got to sit down with Jason Tripp and talk a little bit about Speed Racing Network, how it started, and where it's going.
All right, let's take a look.
All right, welcome everybody to TR's Corner. Today we've got Jason Tripp with us. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Mr. Rutherford. Yourself?
Yeah, doing real well. Appreciate that, Mr. Tripp. So want to talk a little bit today about just basically Speed Racing Network. We had Corey Knight on talking about MidSouth Madness, so the league we're currently broadcasting through SRN. And we want to talk a little bit about SRN and what it is. So tell for our folks watching, what's the concept behind Speed Racing Network?
So, Speed Racing Network was really founded. It started out as just a race team. A bunch of us got together. We enjoy racing and iRacing, and kind of said, hey, let's take a lot of these talents, put us in a pool together here. And some guys were good at coaching guys how to hit your marks, do stuff like that. Other guys were good at building the setups. Paints by Night, Corey Knight, is part of our team, and bringing that to the fold. So it was nice to have. In the beginning, it was more about camaraderie, getting out there, running races together, being kind of unified in that. And then it kind of morphed into other things. We saw other things that were going on. Myself and a couple of the other guys started talking about where we were going to go as a league. looking at, making the next season of MidSouth Madness, which was where we all kind of started from. So we really looked at that, and that's where Speed Racing Network kind of came into play. It was birthed out of that Speed Racing Network team was first, and then the network came second. So that's kind of where we're at. And this year we've taken a leadership role and a management role in MidSouth Madness Season 2. And it's a little bit of new territory for us. So we're figuring it out as we go along and trying to do the best we can.
So you talked a lot about the team concept. This was born from racing. Tell us about the team as it stands today from a team owner aspect on the racing side.
So we got a lot of good talent. We're always adding talent to the team. Right now, I think we're standing at about 10, 12 drivers, somewhere in that range. We're actually, the concept of it wasn't, right now we're focusing a lot on oval racing, asphalt stuff, the NASCAR series stuff. But a lot of the guys that are on the team are in a lot of other areas as well. So we're looking at guys that are really into the road racing stuff, really into the dirt. So the concept of the team is to move into those different areas. Last night we were working on some road racing stuff. We're talking about maybe doing some endurance races with team drivers, things like that. And then we also have a number of guys who are big into the dirt racing and really good at it as well. So, we're going to look at bringing those guys and bringing on some dirt stuff. But really it's being able to have the team represented. And the team is all of us. It's not just one person. The team is all of us. But really being able to have the team represented in about every facet that iRacing has, so that these guys can be, we can have good showings on dirt, road, oval. Eventually we'll get into the truck stuff, the pro lights and the World Rallycross stuff as well. So that's really what the team started out to be, and that's what the team has morphed into as well.
So you talk about the team and the branding, having the name on the cars, and now through different disciplines of racing. That all goes back to the broadcast, right? Speed Racing Network. It's part of what PR's Corner is. Mr. Rutherford and Mr. Tripp going to be there on the broadcast at Atlanta this week.
That's
right. Let's talk about the broadcast a little bit. Right now, you've got myself and Sean. Sean's put a lot of hard work into this. I mean, folks, the quality you're looking at in the broadcast today is all due to Sean and his efforts putting it together. We've got a lot of great feedback on it. What are your thoughts on the broadcast portion so far?
I think we're just now starting to hit our stride with the broadcast. Sean has done an amazing job. He's really grabbed a hold of that and taken it as his own. And, the broadcast truly is the efforts of Sean, myself and yourself, Thomas, as well. We've done what we can to support him, but ultimately when it really boils down to it, it's really, Sean taking that leadership role in that. Every week we seem to add something new. Every week, this week we're working with different camera angles. So I think that our viewers on tonight, are going to see, some better, different camera angles we haven't had before. We're working on just streamlining the broadcast and making the broadcast the best broadcast there is out there. And the concept behind our broadcast was we wanted a television quality broadcast. We wanted a broadcast that in the iRacing format is second to none. Good broadcasters, good angles, good cut scenes, and to bring something else that our broadcast has that you haven't seen. When we do a league, like you're seeing in MidSouth Madness, it's the pre-race show. It's the attention to detail, all the effort that Sean has put in and everyone's put in when it comes to the teams, building the team slides, the Dent Wizard, which is one of our sponsors, the Rec Replay, and just getting our sponsors involved. CMC Fabrication was another one. We did our first CMC Daytona race, and being able to get all that together to have a real presentation out there rather than just streaming a race event. We've really tried to bring a show quality to it that would hopefully keep people entertained.
And we're going to be entertaining them tonight, right? Atlanta's a tough track. What are your thoughts for the race?
I think we're going to see people settle in. I've heard a lot of guys talk this week about the setup. The setup's been challenging. They've had, some tire issues, tires falling off. So I think that's going to come into play. And we're really going to see a lot about pit strategy tonight. And I think it's going to come into the teams working together. And, it's not – and for those that watching that may not really grasp all of this. It's not just jump in the rig and drive the car. There's a lot of practice that goes in every night of the week. There's a lot of practice and conversation about strategy, about, hey, when are we going to pit? Are we going to take 2 tires, 4 tires, full fuel? What's our strategy? And that strategy comes into play, and it's always evident on the last couple of laps when we're running that green flag win. So, that's really what I think that we're going to end up seeing is the strategy come into play. And hopefully we'll see some green flag racing, not too many cautions, but it is a tricky track, and these tires are seeming to fall off quickly. So that might be something that we run into.
It's the name Cheese Grater for the title of the race tonight. So looking forward to it. I agree with you on all those aspects of the race for the evening. I think you are going to see some guys settle in for the long run, but just to cap it off here, again, appreciate you coming on. Speed Racing Network, getting to be a part of it, you founding it. We've got a lot of guys that are putting in a lot of effort on all aspects. It's grown so quickly from concept to where it's at today. What do you see for the future?
I see a lot of things coming. And Speed Racing Network, we got a good group of core guys that run Speed Racing Network. Some of the stuff, and we've talked about it, some of the stuff that we really plan on seeing over the next 12 months or longer is definitely we're going to be doing some different series next year. We're going to launch the Speed Racing virtual series. So we're going to have a truck series, a Xfinity series, and a Cup series that will run simultaneously throughout the year. That'll definitely bring some driver talent, and you'll see representation from a lot of our teams in all those leagues, and you'll see drivers that are doing well getting pulled up, maybe drivers that need a little more practice getting sent down to Xfinity or truck or whatever the case may be. And the other thing that I'm really excited about this year is working with one of our guys here. He's kind of taking the reins on this. We're going to be launching Team SRN, which is going to be a product line. We have Team SRN, which is our factory team, but we're going to have a product line of different products that we're going to offer for sim racing applications, whether it's to make pedals feel better or different things for the wheels. But eventually we'd like to get into, potentially full sim rigs and stuff like that. So Team SRN product line is something that I'm really looking forward to in the next year or so, depending on how long it takes us to get it really up and rolling. So that's pretty much where we're headed.
Awesome. Not to forget your broadcast team either, though. So I'll make sure that Sean and I get that plug in there for the broadcast tonight and for the rest of the season and whatever else comes with that as well. So Jason Tripp, appreciate you being on today.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to the race tonight, and we'll hopefully be able to manage some cautions a little better this week as far as the number. So thanks for joining us today, Jason.
Thank you, Thomas.
All right, and there you have it. Another great session of TR's Corner with Jason Tripp. We really appreciate Jason and him keeping us on here. I know we could say that and be disingenuous about it, or we could say it for real. This is for real. We appreciate him not just because he's our boss, but also because he has a really, really good vision of what is going to be going for the next couple seasons.
More about SRN and the concept of it, because you think Speed Racing Network, right? You can go to the website out there, speedracingnetwork.com. A lot of great information there, not only about the broadcast, but also to MidSouth Madness, some of the things to come with some of the other series and seasons that we're going to be running. So very exciting stuff there.
Yeah, and for now, I mean, this whole thing this season has kind of revolved around teams, Thomas, and so I'd like to show you the standings so far this year for those. You want to go through those?
Yeah, let's get started here with Revved Racing being at the top at 185, and looking at this, it's kind of Formula One style, right? It's not just the individual, it's also the teams. We don't have manufacturers points, so Revved Racing's up there in first. You got Stryker Motorsports behind them. Sean, don't know who those guys are. Maybe you can tell us later. Stake Dance Racing there, which I think you used their seasoning tonight, didn't you?
I did. I had a great steak. My wife, my daughter is a very, very picky eater, and she ate every single bit of it. So Steak Dance seasoning, they're not technically a sponsor yet, but definitely try some of that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know they're on a couple of the cars. You got the do-gooders behind them, and maybe that's what she thought of her dad's steak tonight was you did gooder cooking it. Good group of guys there. Tank Racing. Hard to Kill Motorsports. Who else we got there towards the bottom, Sean?
Well, it looks like we got Team SRN. That's kind of been the biggest disappointment of the year, honestly. And so Team SRN should be a lot higher than they are. But the last race, they made a really, really strong run. Then you have Jam Racing, Mike Lewis and Company, and with 104 points. And then Wild Bill Motorsports bringing up the rear there. But they do have a couple of really good drivers that they could turn this around really quickly.
Yeah, I don't think it was because of Wild Bill Motorsports not performing. I think they've missed a couple of races with some of their drivers. So hopefully they're all in tonight, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that the winning team out of all this wins $200. So they get to split that between the 4 members of the team. So an extra $50 just for being the best team out there. So not a bad deal.
No, absolutely not a bad deal. And I think that's part of the core of this league, right, is the competition, but also, too, they're racing for something. It's not just a pride deal. These guys are actually out on the track week after week running this season because there's a prize involved.
Right, and man, we are still looking at this thing, and people are in Discord. They're talking trash. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of camaraderie there, but make no mistake, people want to win.
Yeah, and they've been out there all week, Sean. I know just Saturday alone, a lot of the team drivers and team owners, or team captains as we call them, I think yesterday they had 2 separate 2 to 3 hour long practice sessions just on Saturdays. You're talking about some of these guys put in between 4 and 6 hours of practice yesterday, which is unbelievable for a sim racing rig. I mean, you're talking about more practice than some of the guys in real life put in.
Absolutely. So, but let's figure out who some of these teams are. Let's take a look. Paints by Night. This is Corey Knight's company. He does paints for these vehicles. And he has decided to sponsor this league as well, and as a part-time sponsor. And so we're going to do the team introductions brought to you by Paints by Night. So give Ashton Knight a follow there on Trading Paints, and you can see all of his amazing paint schemes.
Yeah, and he's got a very quick turnaround. He's very focused on what he does with the paint. So if anybody out there in iRacing world is looking for something custom, definitely check out Corey Knight at Ashton Knights on Trading Paints, and also too on SpeedRacingNetwork.com. You can find a link there as well.
All right, so let's start us off with Rev Racing. These guys have been incredible this year. This is the number 57 of Adam Pettit, the number 09 of Aaron Gerwitz, the number 87 of Sean Dice, and the number 54 of Brian O'Shell. So really great team of racers there. They work together really well.
Yeah, you probably can't read my mind, Sean, but I bet you could guess who my pick for the evening is going to be as a winner.
I can, actually. I can. So probably one of the guys that's up near the top already, Adam Pettit, I think would probably be your pick if I had to guess. But
yeah, absolutely. Adam and I were giving each other a little rubbing in the Discord this week. We ran a charity race earlier. He says, good to see me on track, and good to see me at the back of the pack. And I think Adam's been putting in a lot of practice here this week, and I think he's got a good hot rod to be able to go out there and win this race.
Well, those out there that don't know, Thomas Rutherford took second in the league last year, and so Adam Pettit is really barking up the wrong tree, I think. But I mean, he does have a little bite himself, so I think that'd be a good race.
Absolutely, he does, and I think we're going to see him do well here tonight.
All right, let's move on to Striker Motorsports. Andrew Schroeder, the number 25 of Dean Brummett, who was last week's winner, the number 71 of Travis Trevelyan, and the number 9 of Jake Roel.
Yeah, Jake Roel's too. Jake Roel's a good driver, a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on this team. As you already said, Dean got last week's win at Bristol. That was a hard-fought race. Pulling that out. He's carried that excitement through all week in some other races we've been in, but good talent on that team. Looking forward
Stat about the Striker Motorsports, they are the only team that we have right now with 3 drivers currently in the playoffs. So watch out. They're maybe towards the top. They're definitely the dark forces.
I'm trying to figure out where their talent's at, Sean. Is it in the ownership or is it in the drivers?
It's not in the ownership. I can guarantee that. They have a great owner. His name is Sean. He's speaking to you right now, but got to tell you, it is not. That is not the talent.
You got to really good team. Looking for them to do well tonight.
All right, let's move on to Stake Dance Racing. We were talking about the stakes a little bit earlier. We have made an agreement on here that if every time that Stake Dance wins a race, that we will eat Stake Dance steaks the next night. I'll tell you, I've broken that agreement already. I'm eating them every night anyway.
Well, you know what? I always need an excuse to eat a good steak, but these guys are going to make me eat more steak than I want to, because you have a great team here. You got Stan Hausman there in the 39. He was in season 1. You got Troy Dow. Troy races in real life. His dad's in the league. Troy's got a lot of talent. He raced 2 races last year and won 1, if that tells you anything. So Chad Wampler's come in from Lightning Racing, or Lightning League. That was another league that he ran in. A lot of guys really wanted him to come in and run. He's done very well. And then you got my old running buddy, Daniel Bodler's in there. And you don't ever know on any given night or any given Sunday when Daniel Bodler's going to end up in victory lane.
Yeah, you just never know. And now I will tell you that I heard that he's having internet issues tonight, so hopefully he gets those things fixed before race time.
Well, hey, race control told me his car didn't pass through inspection. That's what I heard. So hopefully hopefully he can get through inspection. He can come out here and join us tonight.
In a fixed setup race, that's hard to believe. But let's move on to the do-gooders. And so this has kind of been the surprise of the year. Corey Knight threw this team together with his buddy Taylor Smith. They work in the same office, and then they brought along Bobby Brill, who won our first race, and then Brad Yonkman as well, a great driver in his own right. So really great team that just came together at the last second.
Yeah, and it's amazing, right? Because this team is the do-gooders based on some past history, but also, too, they just wanted to get out here and run for fun. And you've got Bobby Brill, who was our Week 1 winner. So these guys, they got some talent. And Corey Knight, I know we talked to him earlier, and he said he's got some stuff up his sleeve. So we'll see what it is.
All right, now we have Tank Racing. So a really great team. This is another one of those teams that really, if they work together, then they're going to be up near the front pretty quick. So the number 46 of Mike Lepicki, the number 31 of Devin Zimmerman, the 555 of Derek Da Silva, and the 79 of AJ Pritchett.
Yeah, this team, I'm a grassroots fan for them. I like racing against these guys. Looking for them to turn their luck around is how I would put it. They've gotten into each other in a couple of incidents, just really not been their day the past couple of weeks. Let's see if they can turn it around tonight.
Well, when you all run in a row the way they normally do, there's bound to be a little bit of contact. In the last race, it was a little bit too much, but they do a really good job of sticking together.
Absolutely they do, and there's some talent on that team, so no doubt those guys are going to find themselves in victory lane at some point this season.
All right, this is Hard to Kill Motorsports H2K, number 13 of Josh Witt, the number 19 of Justin Kruckman, the number 42 of Duncan Staraska, and the number 88 of Joseph DuPont.
Yeah, again, looking for a little bit of luck to go their way. I can tell you we raced in a Drive for Diabetes charity race earlier this week. Joseph DuPont was in that race along with some other folks from MidSouth Madness, and he finished second, but it was 1/1000th of a second. It was the closest race I've ever seen in iRacing, probably one of the closest races I've ever seen. Amazing talent on this team, other than just DuPont, who's an amazing driver. They'll find themselves in victory lane as well.
Yeah, we saw the end of that race, and a lot of people thought that he was robbed, but that's kind of the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, you got to take the breaks where you can get them and roll with the punches, Sean, but we'll see one of these guys win once, if not multiple times this year.
All right, let's jump into Team SRN. I stated a little bit earlier that they were kind of a disappointment this year, but look at the talent that they have on this team. The number 18 of Brandon Browning, the number 78 of David Duke, number 17 of Danny Setzer, and the number 21, last season's champion, Danny Dow.
Boys, if you can hear me, can one of you step it up tonight, stay out of trouble, and get a good finish? Because I know what this team's got. I've raced with them. I was part of that team. And I can tell you right now, they got some bad luck on their side too. We're going to see some rivalries built between these teams, Sean. I think that what we've seen in the first 2 races and some of the bad luck from these accidents these guys are getting in, they're all talented guys. They're going to start driving their way to the front. May cause some more calamity, may not. But the guys that need a result tonight, Team SRN.
All right, now we have Jam Racing, the number 5 of Mike Lewis, the number 4 of Jay Graves Jr., the number 96 of Joe Ruggles Jr., the number 317 of Brandon Arciaro. That's Jam Racing for you. Nice little team put together there.
Yeah, it's a good little team put together. I know they've been doing a lot of work. Not really sure where they land on what side of the fence, if they're going to be in the top half or bottom half this season. I know they got a long way to go, so we'll see if they can get it put together. I know Mike Lewis has been working with a bunch of folks trying to improve upon his running and what they've got going on there, and I look for Mike to be up there as well.
All right, and finally we have Wild Bill Motorsports. So this is Bill Spears in the number 77 there, the 212 of Wayne Rayborn, the number 55 of Gary Ragland, and the number 83, the breakout star of this team, Chris Massey.
Yeah, I think Chris Massey was running home through traffic to try and get on this race, along with Justin Boyles, who's an independent, who's not on this list. But this team, again, their results haven't been because of where they finished. I think they've had some guys not make some races. I think they're just getting there. It's a startup team. We'll see where they end up this season.
All right, so those are your teams. Let's check out and see what these guys are racing for. So it looks like the season payouts this year from the Griffith CPA firm, we have the Paints by Night Do-Gooder Sportsmanship Award first and foremost. So basically, if you race cleanly, then you are going to win $50 if you are the cleanest racer out of the bunch. For the season-long team championship, we already discussed that, $200 to the top team. But then the big daddy of them all, the season-long grand champion for Mid-South Madness Season 2 is going to get $500.
And we also have every week prizes for the race. So this week we've got, I believe, 37 drivers, Sean, is that right, running tonight?
That's correct, 37 drivers.
Yeah, so that's a big field, man. So for first place, you're going to get $70. You put that in perspective, that's 7 times your entry fee. You can see where it goes from there down through the places. And also, too, there's a bonus in there, Sean. If you run clean, you don't get any incident points, and you're the highest placing car to do so, you're going to get an additional $5 bonus. You're going to make back half your entry fee just running this week if you race clean. Just
by being clean, and that's what we're looking for, good hard racers, but clean racers.
Absolutely, and we've got a lot of those in the field tonight. I know, Daytona's restrictor plates, you're going to get in a lot of pack accidents. Bristol is what it is, right? So tonight is going to be our first true test. Let these guys spread out, kind of breathe a little bit. We'll see how they run.
All right, well, let's jump in right now and let's take a look and see how we're doing. But while we're doing that, let's just mention some of our sponsors. So first, CMC Fabrication. So they've sponsored our first race at Daytona. They're sponsoring our last race as well, and they're sponsoring just about everything in between. So CMC Fabrication, thank you for your sponsor.
Yeah, we've also got Dent Wizard. They are in reconditioning, and they sponsor our Rec Replay. So every caution is brought to you by Dent Wizard. We really appreciate their participation, Sean, in our racing. So good to have them on board.
All right, next we have Griffith CPA firm down in South Haven, Mississippi. They can get your taxes done quicker than a NASCAR will get around the track.
Well, we'll put that to the test tonight, because next we have Silverback Tax Solutions. So we've got them as well, kind of in the money there. I don't know who that actually is, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough.
So now we have Paints by Night, which we already discussed a little bit earlier. They do some fantastic paints on these vehicles, so we appreciate their sponsorship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about to see these cars on the track, a lot of which Corey Knight has painted, so I'm sure they're going to look really fast. Bad hot rods going around tonight. That's
right. Looks like we are getting pretty close to the end of qualifying here. It looks like everybody that has decided to show up has already qualified. So let's just take a quick look here and see what we're looking like. And if you look over there on the left side, looks like Bobby Brill, who we talked about a little bit earlier, could win this thing. Bobby Brill took the pole with 31.454 seconds. Jay Graves Jr. in second place there.
Yeah, and if you look at these guys from Brill all the way back to Dow, your top 6, they're all within about 3/100ths of a second. So some good tight racing there. My pick is right there in 7th. Adam Pettit, he ran a 31.5. Lepicki's right behind him. Chad Wampler. Dean Brummett, race winner. He's right behind Wampler. So we've got some true talent up front. I know those guys, you look at all those names, that's a lot of the guys that put in some hard work and time into practice this week, Sean.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work out there. I'd like to mention a couple of that we didn't mention already in the pre-show. So Justin Boyles, he's an independent driver. He is up there in 5th position, and then Jonathan Byer in 11th position, also another independent. So we've got a couple of independents, and then Marshall Stanley up in 3rd. He's an independent as well. So 3 independents that are out there without a team, but they are going to try to make it work tonight.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what that's going to look like as we go throughout the season. This league, a lot of the drivers from last season came back and they said, "Look, we want to put together teams." The league said, "That's a great idea. Let's put the framework together for it." Now you've got these independents coming in, and it's not that they're running at the back. These guys are fast, Sean. So as we get towards the playoffs and all these guys that are putting in the team work, I'm curious to see where these independents land.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight up there. This is one of those fun tracks where you can create some separation. So it's not like the first 2 tracks we had with Daytona being a big pack racing track, and then Bristol with being such a tight race that there's nowhere to go. This is one of those tracks where if you can create that separation, you can run away with this thing.
Absolutely, you can, and they'll get separated. And I'm going to go back while they're gridding here too, and ask you a question about these independents. A lot of these teams were thrown together just based on how they raced last season. Some of them just recruited people blindly. Some of them recruited their friends that they knew they could race with. But some of these teams where they're maybe not as gelled together as you might think. Do we think some of these independents may get swapped out for other drivers throughout this season or going into next?
I was kind of thinking that there is such a thing as trades in sports. And so this could be one of those things where, one person gets traded in, one person gets traded out. You just never know. And so we've never experienced it because this is the first season we've had teams, but it's a possibility.
Absolutely it is, but I can tell you right now, looking at the starting grid, again, just going through it real quick on the guys that probably won't be traded out anytime soon. You got Bobby Brill there in 1st, Jay Graves rolling off 2nd, Marshall Stanley 3rd. Jake Roel, we mentioned him in the pre-race show. This guy's due. We know he's probably going to be there at the top at some point this season. Be interesting to see if he can do it tonight. Justin Boyles, race with him in the IVCS. Actually, he's the admin for the IVCS, so he runs that league, which is a Cup Series league, Sean. We run on Fridays, you're well aware. He'll have a really good run tonight, no doubt.
All right, and then we have Danny Dow in 6th in that 21 car. We have Adam Pettit from Rev Racing in 7th. That's your pick. So 46 of Mike Lepicki in 8th. And then you have Chad Wampler, one of my favorites in this race. He's up in 9th, and then Dean Brummett, last week's winner, in 10th.
Yeah, and then you got Jonathan Byer. This guy's he's been there early on. He hadn't been able to close the deal. We'll see what he can make happen tonight. Troy Dow, we talked about him earlier. Last season, his win percentage was 50%, Sean. 1 race, 2 race, 1-1. There he is in Stake Dance Racing. He's rolling off 12th. We'll see how he does tonight.
And he's got 2 top tens in a row, if I remember correctly. So let's see if he can keep that streak running tonight.
Yeah, so, Sean, we've talked about my pick being on Adam Pettit, but who do you have for the race this evening?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. Honestly, I have seen Adam Pettit and Bobby Brill go back and forth this entire time with practice. I got to go with the pole sitter, Bobby Brill.
Well, I'll take a $1 bet on it. You're on. I know you're not agreeing to it, but I'll agree for you.
Let's do this.
$1 to the winner, and we'll go from there. Look at those guys as they roll off. We got some good-looking paint schemes down there.
We sure do. Let's see if we can check some of those out here. So there's the number 21 Silverback Tax Solutions car for Danny Dow. You can see that's a Paints by Night special there with the nice gorilla on the front. Beautiful car there. Let's check out another one. Bobby Brill up front with the Do-Gooders car, another Paints by Night special.
Yeah, and look at him swerving there, cleaning the tires. I think I saw Dale Jr. do that once. That Do-Gooders car looking strong, and love these new camera angles, Sean. Look, you can see that guy wheeling that car.
Yeah, this is another paint. This is not a Paints by Night special, but the Harris Casino car for Jay Graves. It's seen the front of the pack a lot this year.
Absolutely it has, and I mean, Jay Graves, another one of those guys. It's not that he can't get there. We're just looking for him to put the whole package together. Sure, we'll see him in victory lane soon enough.
Marshall Stanley, just a nice classic paint job, but it's looking good. Let's get out there. And we are green flag. Bobby Brill takes the green flag, and we've already got a caution in the back. already have one going on. I believe that was Brad Yonkman, so that will bring out our first wreck replay by Denton Wizard.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot to that. I think it was just a restart caution. Maybe he got spun out here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, if we're going to go back here to the back, and you can see back there the 93, and it looks like somebody just jumped out of line back there. Let's see if we can get a better view of that, see who that was. But the 55 gets turned up into the 555 of Derek Da Silva, and yeah, the 93 of Brad Yonkman involved in that. Looks like the 317 of Brandon Arciaro was the one that kind of got out of line there. So a lot of wrecks already, not exactly what we were expecting there. Let's see if we can go back and see a little bit clearer of what happened.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure. You haven't even ran a lap yet, not calling them out, so I'm sure they're going to watch this after the fact. But Brandon Arciaro there, not sure what that was. That's not smart racing. Lap 1 would not have made that move. So maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he was trying to get a run, but if he was trying to get a run, that was not very, very sharp racing right there.
That was passing his own the number 96. That's his own teammate as well. So not really sure what happened there, but definitely we need some cleaner racing already. But let's get back up front and be sure that we're still where we need to be here.
Yeah, so Sean, that's a good point. Lap 1, we're calling the caution again. Hope it changes throughout this race. I'm sure it will, because we've got some good drivers out there. But based on the first 2 weeks, we've made some changes as a league and through SRN on how we're going to do the caution. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically we're going to run a caution. We're going to line back up 2 wide, double wide. And so if we get another immediate caution, then we're going to flip right back to single car restart. So that way it just gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to get some green flag racing in.
Yeah, and I don't, nobody wants to see the single file restarts. That's not how these cars run in real life. It's not how we typically run them in iRacing, but at the same time, I'd rather watch 50 green flag laps than 50 caution laps.
Absolutely, and we really thought coming into Atlanta that this would be one of those green flag races, but maybe if we get through this first caution, maybe we'll see a little bit more green flag than what we already have.
Absolutely. And I'm looking down there on the apron of the track. I'm already wondering if some of these guys are saving fuel.
That's a possibility. This could turn into a fuel race, but I'm not sure. With all the tire wear that's been happening on that right front this week, I'm not sure that those tires are going to last long enough for you to save fuel.
That's a good point, and another interesting point to that, Sean, is these guys started practicing this week before an update. So, technology's technology, whether it's on a PC at home in your race sim or whether it's on a real car at the track that you're updating or upgrading. This week they had a build come out, a build update that affected the tire wear on these cars. And I know early in the week a lot of the guys were really complaining about the right front. After that build update, they said it got a whole lot better and they were able to make some faster laps and some longer green flag runs. So that was the hope for tonight's race, and maybe we'll still see that in those long green flag runs.
Well, you can see there's a lot of cars up in front of the leader right now, and that's going to get sorted out here pretty quickly. That's just due to all the wrecking that was happening, just people getting back in line. So have no fear, we'll get those leaders back up front here pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I'm listening to some of the chatter from these guys right now. So they're really talking to each other about, let's make sure we get a great green flag start. Let's make sure we're all giving each other room, and let's make sure that we're doing what we need to do as far as keeping the racing clean.
Well, once again, we're sitting here 75 laps is what we're looking at. We're only on lap 4. We didn't even make it through lap 1 without getting our first caution. So hopefully we get a little bit more of a green flag run. Everybody does have 2 fast repairs, so that will help those that kind of got into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, and those fast repairs for everybody at home, that's a little bit different from the real world. Basically what that means is if you get in a wreck, you're able to come down pit road and boom, your car is brand new again. You got 2 of those. After that, you're on your own, and the car is going to handle like it handles if it even runs at all. So we'll see how many guys have to end up using all those tonight. We'll see how many guys end up saving them.
Well, from the looks of it, it's looks like a lot of people are going to be using them. So we'll see if that keeps up. But let's take a look and see what our top 10 looks like right now. I'm going to run us through here. So we got Bobby Brill up front still in the number 1 do-gooders car. We got the number 00 Marshall Stanley. He's an independent. We have the number 4 of Jay Graves. He is running with Jam Racing. And the number 9 of Jake Roel from Stryker Motorsports.
Yeah, and Royale's the one to watch. We got Boyles in 5th. He's another one to watch. Look at that. You got one of the Dows right there in 6th. Adam Pettit. I think I heard him just call the green there.
Wow, that was a quick green. I'm not sure how that happened, but let's jump back up front. Let's find out what's going on. So Bobby Brill back up front in the number 1 car, and he's going to try to get a little bit of distance there on Marshall Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley's right behind him. He's tracking every move he's making. He's got a couple of them too wide back there. Man, Sean, these new camera angles are looking great for tonight's race, by the way. Awesome coverage.
They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun to play with.
Well, look, we got some close racing there for 3rd. It looks like, who is that from Stryker Motorsports? Looks like Jake Roel. He's making his move.
Yeah, his teammate Dean Brummett won last week, and Jake was not happy that he was not the winner, so he wants in this.
Well, I can tell you who was happy was Dean Brummett. Dean Brummett was very happy when we interviewed him after that race. So maybe Jake wants a little bit of that happiness stolen away from him. Let's hope they can stay off of each other and do some good, clean racing here. But they're definitely fighting hard for that position.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to fall in the line here. So the top 4 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just right in a line, and they're going to draft off each other there a little bit.
Yeah, my concern here is that there's a little bit of excitement. It's a brand new race. It's the start of a race, right? These guys are going to bring their stuff up early. But it looks like that second pack right behind them isn't getting too far away from them, so maybe they'll back it down a little bit and just run their race.
It looks like Jake Roel is going to try to make a move on the inside. He's going to try to clear Jay Graves for 3rd place.
Yeah, and it's tough there going into 3 and 4, Sean. When we ran in practice this week, a lot of the guys were moving up, especially in 1 and 2. They were against the wall. So I think you're going to see these guys move up as these tires wear off. So trying to pass on the inside is going to be very tough, but there's Marshall making it look easy.
Yeah, and it looks like Jake Roel is going to try to get to the inside of Bobby Brill there as well. So Bobby Brill might drop back a couple positions here.
Yeah, those do-gooders are going to have to do better if they're going to keep running like that. So they're going to have to step on it and get those elbows out. But right now, you got Marshall and the Stryker Motorsports car, Jake Roel behind him, kind of running away and leaving everybody.
Well, Marshall Stanley really put on a show last week at Bristol, and he is a great driver. And he is an independent. He is buddies with the Rev Racing team, but Rev Racing, all teams can only have 4 racers on them. And so there was just too many good drivers and not enough room.
Yeah, and Marshall Stanley, I think, Sean, I don't know if I've got my count right, but he got involved in 3 or 4 accidents last week. Everybody did at Bristol. None his fault, but he still came back there at the end and was strong. And he ran strong all evening long.
Yeah, but he is putting some time on Jake Roel here, so almost a half a second lead already.
Yeah, and we're on lap 11 of 75. I mean, this race will move quick if we've got some long green flag runs. I will be interested to see how Marshall's car holds up against the guys behind him, because he's pulling away. Who knows how much effort he's putting into that car right now. If he's wheeling it, that right front's going to burn away real quick.
And that's going to slow him down dramatically. But right now, he's put another 1/10 of a second out there, so he is 6/10 of a second ahead, and he is just making it look easy.
And that's unbelievable here, Sean. 6/10 of a second ahead, 12 laps in. I think we've only had about 8 laps of green flag running. He's already picked up a half second, more than a half second. He's got a bad hot rod.
Yeah, he is just on a rail right now. Looks like Adam Pettit. Here comes your pick. He's driving into 2nd place on the inside.
He's ran this track. He's put in a lot of hours. He's put in a lot of time. He knows how it runs low. He knows how it runs high. Pettit's going to be the challenger tonight.
This is going to be a fantastic race if we can stay green.
Yeah, look at this between the 57 and the 9. The 9 is getting next to him every straightaway he can through the tri-oval, falling back in through the corners. Now he's trying the high side. It's going to be an interesting race. This top 5, top 6 looks really good.
Yeah, it looks like Jay Graves is going to take the inside. He is going to take the 3rd position now.
Yeah, we keep running like this. I'm going to be curious what Jason Tripp down there in race control is actually doing. He's probably going to be eating ice cream the whole time because this is a lot less work. This is a lot less work than he's had the past 2 weeks.
Well, remember, this is exactly what Jason Tripp wanted. He wanted good, hard racing, but clean racing, and here we are.
Yeah, and this is going to be the product we look for as Speed Racing Network moves forward with the other leagues as well. I know it's a ways down the road, but folks, this is good, tight racing. This is what you're going to get from these drivers, this league, and this broadcast.
And the tightest race right now is this battle for fifth up here with Danny Dow and Jake Roel and Mike Lepicki.
You know what, Sean? This is good racing. You need to show off some of those static cameras you got.
Yeah, let's see this. Let's jump in there. Let's have a little bit of fun. This camera shake as it goes by. That's a lot of fun to see.
Absolutely it is. And look at the tight packing.
We got a caution. Sorry to cut you off. We do have a caution.
Oh, man. It looks like Corey Knight was involved in that. Sean will have to go back and see.
Yeah, let's do another wreck replay by Dent Wizard.
Yeah, so we're going to go back and take a look here as we go back through our Dent Wizard Rec replay. Thought I saw the 90 of Corey Knight there.
Yeah,
car's bucketing a little bit.
Got into the wall. He just got into the wall and then got into it again in that Griffith CPA firm car.
Oh, man, he's going to need more than a tax accountant to tell him how to fix that because that was a hard hit he took. You saw the suspension working on that left front. You know, in real life, that would have probably knocked a guy silly, but Corey Knight, I'm sure he's okay.
Well,
that car will be back out on the track.
Let's see what Corey Knight was watching. So, again, just barely tapped the wall and then just gets a little loose and just slings him right back into that outside wall again. And so just a hard hit. Not a lot that can be done about that. So we do have our second caution of the race here.
Yeah, it looked like it was a single car incident for the most part, so everybody's off and rolling. I do see the 96 there, though, in front of Corey. Looks like he's got some rear end damage.
Yeah, it looks like a few people got some damage there, but I think it was all separate incidents. Maybe we can go back and see. I believe Mike Lewis ran off the track a little bit. Let's go back and try to find that out.
Yeah, look at all those cars pitting. Everybody's coming down pit road. Oh, right there it is.
That was a little friendly fire there between two teammates. So that was the number 5 of Mike Lewis and the number 96. Is that I'm trying to figure that. I believe that's Joe Ruggles. Is that correct?
Yeah, the 96 of Joe Ruggles. Looks like they got together. If you can back it up just a little bit, Sean, I'd like to go back and take a look and see where that all started.
Let's take a look here. It's just they just kind of get into each other once the caution flag happens. And so two teammates, that's not going to do good for their team standings.
No, and unfortunately that's been the MO so far that we've seen in teams. And unfortunately it's been where we've seen with a lot of teams the same type of accidents have been happening. So these guys are just going to have to be more aware. They're going to have to take their time. They're going to have to practice. They're going to have to work together in order to not have those same incidents continue to happen.
Well, let's go back up front, and we have Justin Boyles up in first place right now.
Man, on those pit stops, I don't know what Justin's done, but I guarantee it wasn't 4 tires. Maybe he just got a splash of fuel. Maybe he did right sides only. You know what? We've got another lap or two here. If race control will get with them and see if maybe we can pull Boyles up in the booth.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he pitted, though, so we'll see.
Oh, even better. So we're going to see how that right front holds out. Not sure if we're going to be able to get him here, Sean, but we're going to give it a try real quick. I hear a lot of chatter about the guys on the right front, so it seems like the challenge with the right front tires has definitely been the issue here so far tonight.
Yeah, not sure we're going to get Boyle to the booth here. We're going to attempt that. I think we're having some connection issues with his specific car, but we're going to try it again here.
Try it one more time. Guess we're going to have to entertain each other, Sean.
That's okay. That's all right for one more lap here. Not a problem. So it looks like we're going to go one more lap of actually 2 more laps. Sorry, we're going to go 2 more laps of caution here before we jump back in. Actually, here he is. So Justin Boyles up leading the race right now. I noticed you didn't pit. How's it going up there, man?
Well, I just missed my pit stall, so it wasn't on purpose. It's been fine. I was trying to save tires, and it bit me. I figured by the time I was getting ready to get going, we'd get a caution, but we'll see what happens here.
How's that right front holding up for you?
Like I said, I was trying to save. I wasn't pushing it. I was pretty much giving everybody the bottom, and we got to lap 12 or 13 in that run there, and I felt like I was better than the guys I let by, and I was starting to work my way back up, and then we got the caution. So I guess we'll get a good data on that here when we go green, and all these guys behind me got brand new right fronts.
Well, Justin, I know you drive in the Cup cars in the IVCS, and now you're driving in the Xfinity cars here. What does it feel like? What's the difference?
Well, the biggest thing is in the IVCS we're open sets. So here you kind of got what you got, and can make for some pretty good racing because everybody's on the same situation. But the biggest thing is by default these Xfinity cars got a lot less downforce, so you got to really wheel them a little bit more. So that's the biggest thing I've noticed. But Atlanta's a tough track even in the Cup cars, so these aren't my favorite cars, but they're pretty fun to drive.
Well, buddy, it looks like it's working for you. We're going to leave you alone, all right?
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.
All right, we're going to get a couple more turns here, and then we're going to get right back to green flag racing.
And I noticed Justin's running the Budweiser 3 doors down car. So if that's not a throwback car for some probably early teens 2000s, late just regular 2000s, I don't know what is.
Well, that number 8, made famous by Dale Earnhardt Jr., that's going to it's serving him pretty well here. Yeah,
and I want you to look on the outside there in number 2. Who is that running in second position?
That is Bill Spears, the leader of Wild Bill Motorsports, up in second place. He did not pit, so we'll see what happens on that. But it's going to get really, really interesting here.
And here they go. They're taking the green. Boyles takes off. Spears are right behind him. Then you got the 2 car of Dow and my boy Pettit. He's right there.
Oh, yeah, he's always near the front. But there's Troy Dow moving up into second place. He's up 10 spots from the start.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about Troy Dow and his ability, but we don't ever really talk about Troy Dow. He's running the full season this year. He's running for a championship. He's right up there in the mix, Sean.
We just want to look up here at this scoreboard. So Justin Boyles out front. He is not pitted yet. Troy Dow also has not pitted yet. But it looks like Marshall Stanley and Adam Pettit both pitted, so they're going to have nice, clean tires to make this pass.
They are, and it's going to take them a lap or 2 for those things to heat up. They're always a little slick. The car's very loose on that first lap or 2, so we're now going on to lap number 2, lap number 3 of these pit changes, pit adjustments. We'll see if they can catch up. You can see Boyles already falling back.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to fall back just a little bit there, but maybe he'll get lucky and get a caution and get some new tires on that thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's our last caution we've seen, right, based on what we've seen for race 1 and 2, but definitely a huge difference between these cars, and you heard Justin say it too. There's less downforce on these cars. They're a driver car. You've got to wheel these things. So the more rubber you chew off of them, the more tire wear you have, the tougher it is to drive these cars, and you're seeing that in these guys that didn't pit early on.
Right now, we're going to jump up with Marshall Stanley there, and he's getting some pressure from Adam Pettit.
He is. I do believe both those guys pitted. I know Pettit pitted. So, a tongue twister there. And here he goes. He's making that move on Stanley going into 3.
Yeah, but watch out in third place. Oh, look out. Car coming back on the track.
Oh, who was that? They kind of came by. Was that Kruckman in the 19?
That was Justin Kruckman in the 19. Just kind of coming up on the track when the leaders came by. Luckily, everybody made it through unscathed.
It did look, I don't know if it was net code or what it may have been. Maybe they did touch a little bit, but it did look like Pettit got into him, but nothing major. He's obviously able to get around Stanley there and take over first place.
Well, it looks like back there in third place, you got Dean Brummett, last week's winner. He's right up there as well. So, and teammate Jake Rowell in fourth place. So a couple Striker Motorsports up there having a great time.
Yeah, and 2 Dows don't make a right, but if you'll look in 6th and 7th right there, you got father and son running nose to tail. We haven't talked a lot about Danny Dow tonight either, but there he comes in the Silverback Tax Solutions number 21 car. He's making up some ground, some serious ground.
And make no mistake, there is father-son love there, but there is no love lost here on the track.
No, there is not, and they will tell you that neither of the two have the talent, depending on who you ask. It's always the one you ask that has the talent. So we'll see who ends up winning in front of who tonight.
But right now we got Adam Pettit up front, Marshall Stanley just a little bit behind, and then teammates Jake Rowell and Dean Brummett in third and fourth trying to catch him.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, Sean, as you look there as they go through 1 and 2, we talked about these cars moving up from the bottom, going up half a lane, going up another lane. They're already there. They're already up a half a lane to 1 lane off the bottom. And we got another caution, Sean.
Well, let's find out what's going on with that caution. Looks like AJ Pritchett is involved. Let's see if we can get another rec replay by Dent Wizard.
Yeah, and going to the Dent Wizard rec replay here, that looked like a pretty significant caution from what we've seen so far tonight.
Looks like it was back towards the back of the pack here. It looks like the 79. It looks like, a couple guys touched right there, the 62 and the 2 of Troy Dow. We were just talking about him. So not near the back of the pack, near the front. And so just a lot of damage after that.
Yeah, and you got the 79 spinning around, caught up to 44. It looked like, can't see if it's at the 42. You had the 96 again. He just got through that. So a lot of cars. Yeah, that's a great shot right there. Yeah. Oh, man, Brandon Browning in the Dent Wizard number 18. Does he make it through?
Let's take a look.
Look at that 62 car, Dow.
No, he got some damage there. So the 18 did get a little bit of damage. But it looks like we're going to get everybody running into the pits, get some new tires. I think that's a pretty smart move right now.
Oh, absolutely it is. I mean, you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 cars involved in that wreck. Everybody wants to come get some fresh Goodyear tires, and they want to get their fast repairs done, which you look at that 79 car, he's going to need a fast repair.
Definitely. He was definitely involved in that. Good to see that Justin Kruckman, who kind of ran out on the track a little bit earlier, he's back on the track, so that's good. But, yeah, a lot of damage on that 79. He's going to come in, get a whole fresh car out of it, and then hopefully stay back on the lead lap.
Yeah, one thing we can't see, to your point with a car like Kruckman, I'd be curious to see if he's used all of his fast repairs at this point, because he's been involved in a little bit of stuff early on. He kind of got up on the track there in front of the leaders, and then he was involved in that deal. So these guys are going to run out of fast repairs real quick if they keep racing like this.
And there you can see our pit lane. We've still got some cars in there getting some stuff repaired. But then once we come back out on the track, it looks like we are going to have Joseph DuPont up front. We talked a little bit earlier how he was in a race the other night, a charity race, and really, if you look at the cameras, he was so close to winning that race. A lot of disputes whether or not he actually won that.
Well, so in iRacing and in these leagues, we use something called Discord. And in Discord, it's kind of like Microsoft Teams, some of these other programs where you can chat, you can video chat. But more importantly for MidSouth Madness, we use that as a text chat. And anytime Joseph DuPont goes into a text chat and talks about how bad he hates the car, how bad he hates the track, you can guarantee he's going to be up there towards the front of the field.
It is a running joke that he will get on the Discord and he will say bad things about the track and then come out and run a top 5. And so that's the Joseph DuPont way. And so he is showing that tonight. He is up there in first place right now. It's a beautiful car there.
Looking at that car, I can't tell what it says on the hood, but that's definitely something very different from what DuPont normally runs. We know he's a huge Dell Jr. fan. He runs the 88. That's a beautiful paint scheme he's got there on that car tonight.
That is. Right behind him, David Duke, up there in the CMC fabrication car for Team SRN.
Yeah, and David's got that garnet and gold. And then you've got behind him the 42 car. Looks like he's running the Joker paint scheme almost.
And then Josh Witt right behind that. So we got 3 guys from H2K up in the top 4.
Yeah, I don't know that I was necessarily expecting that. But at the same time, we talked about the talent that team's got. So if they can just keep their nose clean, maybe they can bring home a few podiums here tonight.
Well, and so our scoreboard is showing that Duncan Staraska and Josh Witt have not pitted at all in this race yet. And DuPont and David Duke, they stayed out this time around. Justin Boyles is the first car on the lead lap that pitted that time around. So he is going to have fresh tires up against these guys that have 13-lap old tires. So watch out for Justin Boyles.
Yeah, and it looks like he's restarting what there, Sean, fifth. So him pitting didn't penalize him too much. Tires are a premium here, like we've talked about. These guys have got to save them. So far, we're not seeing a lot of saving going on.
No, it's just a lot of racing out there. I know there's plenty of time in there, but the best thing to do if you have a long green flag stretch here, you are going to want to save that. It looks like Joseph DuPont has a little bit of damage on that car too.
Yeah, it looked like the hood on the left front there. There's a little bit of opening. Looks like maybe he touched somebody, maybe ran up behind him. Definitely going to affect his downforce on that left front. That's not what you want to have here when your right fronts are being chewed off. So we'll see how it plays out for him. But still a lot of racing, not quite to halfway. Still got another lap to go under caution. Be curious to see how the restart goes here, because DuPont the other night, he was very, very aggressive in that charity race on the restarts. That's what got him up there towards the front.
Yeah, DuPont, he's a very good road racer as well, and so seeing him succeed here on these oval courses is just, man, it's just icing on the cake.
Well, he's got some newfound confidence after the other night, and I can tell you that through Speed Racing Network, he's one of the guys that, or through MSM, excuse me, he's one of the guys we've been talking about with doing some test runs with Danny Setzer and trying to get into maybe some more road course racing, maybe some endurance racing, some IMSA stuff. So DuPont's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, and then we got David Duke going to be on his outside. DuPont's teammate Duncan Staraska back there in third, and then Josh Witt going to be starting in fourth.
Yeah, and then you've got behind Josh Witt, you got my guy, Pettit. He's right there, Marshall Stanley. They've been running pretty much side by side the whole race, swapping out the lead. Looks like Brummett, is somebody falling to the end there with a penalty?
Looks like Marshall Stanley is falling back. Not sure if that is an internet issue or what, but yeah, he just fell all the way back to 30th.
Well, here we come to the green. Let's see what DuPont does here, and they are off and racing. He holds field back a little bit, gets a big lead. And look at that pack of cars, Sean, as they come by that static camera.
Oh, we got 3 wide going on at Atlanta.
Oh, another caution behind.
Oh, goodness.
Back of the field.
Let's go back and figure out what happened. It looks like Brandon Arciaro might have been involved in that as well. So let's go back and take a look with our Dent Wizard Rec Replay.
Yeah, so that's going to bring us to our single file restart on this next screen. But taking a look back, if Arciaro was involved in that, that would be the second incident that we've got.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Let me see if I can get a better view of that.
Yeah, Mike Lewis too.
Yeah, Mike Lewis involved. Looks like Arciaro again. Arciaro kind of tries to jump into the outside there on a restart.
No, it looks like Sean, I don't know if you can go back to Mike Lewis there in the 62, but it looks like something started with them.
So let's take a look here, see if we can find out what exactly happened. So yeah, it looks like wow, it looks like Kruckman was involved as well, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Lewis gets in the wall on the restart. Maybe he spun the tires. Kruckman's making a run here in that beautiful mellow yellow car.
There we go.
This is going to be a good view. Yeah.
Yeah, Kruckman just gets into the back of him. And then the 62 gets turned as well. And then a few others just kind of get caught up in it. Really, really tough here sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And I hate to see it too, because unfortunately, the guys involved in that wreck have been the guys we've talked about all evening, getting involved in the wrecks. It's not one incident; it's multiple incidents. So hopefully, after the race, we can maybe get with race control and some of the folks there and talk through these and kind of figure out what's going on.
Well, it looks like we got Joseph DuPont still up front. David Duke is still in second. But here's your guy, Adam Pettit, third place right now.
Yeah, running there in third, and the name we haven't talked about all night tonight is Staroska. There in the fourth place. I hope I got that name right. I think we've worked through that one enough. Then you got Boyles behind him, Brummett, Roel. I mean, these are the guys we talked about in pre-race. These are the guys that we knew we were going to see in victory lane at some point. Some of them have been there. The other guys have been putting in the work. That top six you've got right there, top seven actually. You know what? Shoot, Sean, go ahead through the top 10. Zimmerman's there in 10th place.
Kevin Zimmerman, part of our military, part of our United States Air Force. We appreciate his service. He is up there riding along in 10th. Danny Dow in 9th.
Yeah, and I want to point out, too, that 13th position car, that Dent Wizard car that Brandon Browning is driving, that guy's an aggressive driver. Look, he's still got the damage there on the right side. Don't think Dent Wizard is going to be able to fix that, but that guy is bad fast, man, and he just finds himself in some tough situations sometimes. He looks like he's working his way towards the front tonight.
Yeah, and right behind him, Travis Trevelyan, another Stryker Motorsports team member. He's typically middle of the pack, and that's kind of where he's at right now. But he's one of those that could surprise you just by racing clean at the end of the race.
Yeah, and that car's looking clean, Sean. I mean, look at it. It's got nothing on it. He's been running pretty consistent. He's got Dice behind him. So two guys right there that have opportunity to get up and have a good finish.
Yeah, so we got a really great pack going on. I think we should definitely keep this thing going. We're going to get one more caution lap out of this.
It looks like somebody pulled in, Sean, maybe to pit road and disconnected. Not sure if I saw that on my feed, but you got anything on that?
I'm trying to figure out who that was. I can see that we have a bunch of cars a lap down. Looks like we only have 30 cars on the lead lap right now. Derek Da Silva is the first car a lap down. Mike Lewis a lap down. Looks like Justin Kruckman's 2 laps down. Corey Knight is 2 laps down. And Marshall Stanley is also 2 laps down.
Yeah, and the Stanley piece, I'm not sure there. I know he took an EOL, it looked like. Don't know if he was blinking out. Maybe he's having some connection issues. But, man, it's sad to see that for Marshall Stanley because he was up here running a heck of a race. He was right there in first. And a matter of fact, he probably had the fastest hot rod the first half of this race.
It looks like let me go back there and look at this because we had DuPont up front. There he is. He's back up front. Okay, so there must be a little bit of glitching going on as far as internet and that sort of thing. So, and that kind of happens. This is a simulation, keep in mind. So not everybody's internet connection is perfect. So we're going to get a little bit of that stuff, but glad to see that he's still out there.
Yeah, and you tend to see that more on the pacing laps when it slows down for whatever reason, the latency and the connection speed. You'll see guys blink out. You get in iRacing what we call net coding. Net coding is a very, very normal thing in iRacing. It might be weird to others. People might say it's not fair, but hey, an alternator breaks on a car, causes you a race. You net code in iRacing, it causes you a race. It all boils down to the technology.
It sure does. And you know, there is a little bit of luck in racing in general, not just iRacing, but in racing in general. There is a lot of times you'll get caught up in a wreck that you should not have been caught up in, that you've been racing clean all night. Stuff happens, and so truthfully, a lot of hurt feelings happen because of that, but there's nothing anybody can do about it. So you just go out there and you race as hard as you can, and you do the best you can, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you talked about earlier me finishing second in MSM last year, or last season. It was season 1. The goal is to put yourself in a position to be able to finish every race. And if you do that, you typically finish higher than what you're shooting for, or maybe where you started. And my goal is, I know a lot of these guys, their goal is last year was just to put myself in a position to race clean and finish in the top. And that led me almost to a championship thanks to No thanks to Danny Dow and a couple of other folks, but we'll talk about that later, Sean. Let's see if DuPont can restart here and get a good clean restart, keep the lead.
So for our viewers out there, I've got to tell you, every single race that we do that I have Thomas with me in the booth, he is itching to get back out there. So just wait until season 3. You will see Thomas Rutherford back on the track.
Absolutely, and I don't know if we'll have the other classes out by then between the Cup and the truck, but definitely going to be in the seat of one of those things. So here we go, single file on the restart.
All right, and Joseph DuPont's going to lead us. Looks like David Duke gets a really great restart. He's going to jump to the inside.
And David Duke in the 78 there, CMC Fabrication, Toyota. He is, Chevrolet's got there. That car's bad fast, and David's a former crew chief in what was the Busch Series in NASCAR. He knows how to wheel that thing. And look who's right behind him there, Sean.
Looks like Adam Pettit, your pick. So, I mean, this is your picks have been working out really well for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, except for week 1. Last week and this week been doing pretty well, but I can tell you what, David Duke's going to give Adam Pettit a run for his money.
Yeah, it's still a little early to push really, really hard, but that's not stopping him.
No, and Duke is probably, if I know David Duke, he's going to make that 57 car use everything he's got, and he's just going to wheel it around the track and make this guy have to, oh man, look at Jake
3
Rowell.
wide for the lead.
Wide.
Jake Rowell's going to go to the inside. Not sure if he can make it stick. Adam Pettit's going to take the lead right here. But Rowell's going to tuck in into second.
Yeah, and I know Duke, he's saving his stuff. If they were behind him, he was going to make them work it, but now that he's behind them, he's just going to keep up with them. Jake Rowell's had a bad fast hot rod, 57 to Pettit. Enough said, but here comes Boyles on the outside of the 78 as well.
That's right, Justin Boyles. He did get fresh tires there, so looks like he's going to be a force there.
Yeah, and we've still only got about a second, a second gap between the top 5. So they're going to settle it in here. Duke and Boyles, they're door to door. Hopefully they can keep it off each other, but these guys will end up settling in here in a lap or 2.
Yeah, it looks like the front 2 there have opened up about a half-second lead on 3rd and 4th. So they're just going to try to break away, and you never know. They might just get together and just kind of pull away from everybody and just make it a 2-person race.
They might. I don't think Rowell's going to want to let the 57 to Pettit go, and you can see him catching up to him there. He even tapped him a little bit on the rear bumper. He wants him to know he's there. He wants him to be a little bit scared. He wants him to use up his stuff. He wants to get past him as soon as he can.
Well, as aggressive as that is, Adam Pettit is not one that's going to scare easily in a car. So he is one of those that he practices, and he gets it down to the millisecond. He is always racing on the edge.
Absolutely he does, and he's a great racer, and I can tell you, Jake Rowell racing that aggressive behind him. Adam's not going to forget that. If he gets into him a little too hard, Adam's going to return the favor.
Well, Adam's going to do the over-under here. He's going to cross over, try to make it stick. But it looks like Jake Rowell led that lap.
What a race we have for first place here. You got Boyles there in 3rd coming up behind him, but these guys are side by side. Pettit's having to get out of it a little early there to stay off the 9, and the 9 is just pushing him.
Well, I'll let you know. So Boyles is catching them. So Boyles is catching up. He is only half a second behind second place there. But if you look at that time in the bottom right corner there, he is catching the leaders.
Oh, absolutely. And anytime these guys run side by side, and you've got, the 9 of Rowell and the 57 of Pettit up there, and they're running side by side like that, taking air away from each other, taking momentum away from each other. Boyles is back there just salivating, man. And then you got Dean Brummett. We haven't talked about him all night, and there he is in 4th, followed by David Duke. So these guys are coming as well, Sean.
Yeah, they're all coming to get those top 2. But right now it's Jake Rowell out front, Adam Pettit just following closely behind, and then Justin Boyles tracking him down.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, Boyles, he's making ground on him, but he's also sitting there saying, boys, I'm going to be real patient. I'm watching you guys race each other and wear yourselves out and wear your stuff out. I'm going to get you when the time's right.
And that's how he drives in the IVCS as well. I think that experience is going to serve him really well tonight.
Yeah, and I know he rushed home. It's kind of funny. We were talking earlier about the number of entries, and Justin Boyles paid. We weren't expecting him tonight, and the guy texted and said, look, guys, I'm rushing home from work. I like this league. I love running in this league. I love the competition in this league. I'm making the race tonight, no matter what it takes. And he got home just in time to get in this race, and he's running third.
Right now, Pettit and Roel just keep on switching back and forth, back and forth. Neither one wants to let the other one go.
No, and it's wearing out their stuff, and it's making lots of gains for these guys behind them. So you can look at the ticker. You know, you got a couple of guys outside of a second right now. David Duke's about 2.5 seconds behind, but that top four is right within about 1 second of each other.
Well, let's jump back. We got a good battle for 12th going on back there. So it looks like Brian O'Shell and Duncan Staroskin and Brandon Browning in that Dent Wizard car, they are trading a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about them tonight. I mean, I told you the Dent Wizard car, Brandon Browning, he's a strong driver. You've got Zimmerman right there. You got a lot of guys that they need to be up there. They want to run to be up there. You just got to race clean.
A lot of traffic back there in the back, but up front, we just have the guys just hanging out, having a good time. Looks like Pettit's opened up half a second on Roel in just the last couple of laps. So Adam Pettit getting a good little run out of this.
Man, Sean, you know what? These cars, they're running strong. They're all nose to tail. They sound good. Let's see what some of those static cameras look like.
Let's do it. That is just the coolest sound. The coolest sound is just hearing this race car drive right past you. It really encourages everybody, if you get a chance to go to a live race, to hear that sound, go and check it out, man. It is a lot of fun.
Absolutely it is, and my family and I, we go to several races each year, both in NASCAR and Formula One, and you know what, when it comes to iRacing, I encourage you to go to speedracingnetwork.com, check us out, look at some of the different links and products available, but also, too, different leagues that we're going to be broadcasting and running in the future, as well as right here on MidSouth Madness for the foreseeable future. You can watch the race live there, so go and check it out.
Well, you got Adam Pettit, man, he has checked out himself. So 1.4 seconds ahead of everybody, but then back in second and third. A couple teammates are back there. They're trying to race each other to get up to Adam Pettit, but you got to be careful when you've got teammates side by side like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that hasn't been a very good look for us so far this season, Sean. They've tended to wreck each other when they've been side by side, regardless of what team it is. But you know, so far, we got green flag pitting going on here, Sean.
We do. We've got some guys on pit road. That's the first time this season we've had that, I believe.
We haven't had the opportunity to, so this is exciting because this is going to change the entire complexion of the race.
Well, do you think it's a little too soon to do that? Do you think these guys are pitting on purpose to try to get those fresh tires and get back out there?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there's going to be some guys short pitting. You see Adam Pettit coming in. I don't know if he's going to be if he has to pit or if he's a victim of seeing everybody else do it. You got Brian O'Shell, several others that have been coming in. This is the longest green flag run we've had. We know the tires burn off. We've watched these guys move from the white line up a couple of lanes while they're running. It's going to be interesting because there's still 22 laps to go, Sean. These right fronts are still going to burn off. Short pitting may not be the way to go here.
Well, last week's winner, Dean Brummett, he is out front. He is hoping his tires hold out just a little bit longer. Looks like he's going to come into the pits as well. He's got to get that thing slowed down. Not sure
Dean,
if he did.
No, caution's out now, too. You got cars coming through the tri-oval. That Mike Lewis again.
Yeah. Let's go back and let's take a look with another wreck replay by Dent Wizard, see if we can figure out how that happened.
Yeah, and that's such a shame for some of these guys. We were seeing some good, clean pit stops under green flag. Mike Lewis, I'm not sure what that was.
I think it's just maybe, I'm not sure when he pitted last, but it just looked like the tires got out from underneath him. He took out Bobby Brill there, so there goes my pick for the night. And then Justin Boyles comes up right behind. Pretty sure he got a little bit of damage there also, but just an incident out there, just kind of getting a little bit loose. And once that happens, you just cannot control that car.
No, and you can see Mike Lewis's car there as it goes through the infield. That thing is jumping all over the place. He's just seemed to get a little loose tonight. Not sure if that car is handling the way it should. Maybe it's in the setup on his rig. Don't know, but that's 3 cautions pretty much in a row for Mike Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, again, doesn't necessarily mean that he's caused all 3, but he's been involved in all 3. And so that's,
absolutely.
I mean, end of the day, all that matters is who's involved, not necessarily who's at fault. And so with him being involved in 3 straight cautions, that's going to be really, really tough for him to be anywhere near the front.
Yeah, and I can't imagine at this point there's any way that he's got any fast repairs left. So, he's not pitting there, but we've got a ton of cars coming down pit road. The 5 and the 54 staying out. I think it's because they're a couple of laps down, right, Sean?
Yeah, a few of them are a couple laps down, but it looks like our leaders, Jake Rowell, he went ahead and pitted. So it looks like Bobby Brill is up there in the pits as well. Let's jump out to somebody that's actually on the track. So Dean Brummett out there on the track, he's up in 21st. He just got out of the pits, so he's going to try to work his way back up to the front where he was.
Yeah, and it's a bad break for Dean, right? Because he was leading the race. He was trying to get out there and run as long as he could on those tires. He comes into the pits, boom, caution comes out, puts him in the back.
Well, this definitely changes everything. I know a lot of people were pitting already, but now with 19 laps to go, there is no reason to pit anymore in this race.
And it actually looks like, what is that, Brummett in 4th?
Yep.
Boyles in 5th? Yeah, okay, so it's cycling out.
It looks like Jay Graves right now is actually the leader right now, but it looks like he's going to dip down. He is probably going to jump into the pits as well. So looks like it's going to cycle on through, and Jake Rowell looks like he might become the leader here.
Well, he's been fighting for it all night. I mean, it's no surprise, Sean, that he's going to be up there at the front. He has raced everybody he's been around very hard, but very clean. And I wouldn't be surprised, not sure what his incident points are, but I wouldn't be surprised, knock on wood, if that's our Corey Knight Paints by Night Clean Racer Award tonight.
It could be, and so I'm sure there's still a lot of cars out there that have been clean all night long. There are definitely some of our more popular names that have not been, but there are definitely some of these mid-pack guys that have stayed out of trouble, but also not really challenged for the top spot either.
Well, and I'm looking at Krugman's car there, that mellow yellow car. It's beat up worse than the one they used in Days of Thunder. So not sure he has any fast repairs left, but hopefully he's still got a fast hot rod there and he can get up out of the way of these guys.
What we should do is we should get all the cars, all the schemes, talk to Corey Knight, Paints by Night about this, get all the schemes from Days of Thunder, recreate the entire movie, and post it. We would make millions.
Sean, I'm in. You just let me know when you're ready. We'll get Jason Tripp out of race control, and he can come along. He can produce, so we're good to go.
We would have way too much fun with that. But as it sits right now, we do have Stryker Motorsports up front. We have do-gooders, Bobby Brill up in second. I think he got a little bit of damage on that last caution there, but looks like he's still out there running strong. And then Dean Brummett from Stryker Motorsports in third.
We did. We saw Bobby Brill. He, no fault of his own, got caught up in I think 1 or 2 accidents. Got kind of pushed back towards the back, but now he's right there contending again up front. He's had a fast hot rod, and hopefully he can capitalize on it.
All right, well, let's see how we're doing as far as the pace car is concerned. I think we're still trying to cycle some people around.
What do we got left? 1 to go? We still got another lap after that.
I'm not really sure. I cannot see the pace car from where we're at. Let's see if we can get up there. No, there's definitely still another pace lap to go before we get to green. So I think we're going to get a lot of these wave arounds, and then we're going to get the leaders right back up front.
Possibly we are. You know what we ought to do, though? We ought to get with race control real quick and see if maybe we can get Adam Pettit up here in the booth, and I can get a Q&A started with him.
That'd be excellent.
Let's just see what we can make happen.
Now, keep in mind, he's back in 21st right now, so be gentle.
I will be as gentle with him as he was with me in Discord this week, Sean. Hey, Adam Pettit, how are you, bud?
That's actually, we've got AJ Pritchett in here, actually.
Well, it looks like we got AJ instead of Adam, so let's see if we can get Adam up here. There's Adam Pettit. Adam Pettit, how's the car handling tonight, bud?
Car's handling great. That caution was the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, absolutely it was. It was kind of like trash talking in Discord, but we'll let that go. So you're running good tonight, man. I'm not going to tell you what you were my pick for tonight, but I picked you to run good tonight, and I know you've had a heck of a race. So what's the biggest thing you've noticed so far out of the car?
It's quite tight. You got to be pretty perfect with where you put it on entry, so you can pick it up on exit just right. But we'll see what happens here. Got a short amount of laps to go, but I've got fresh tires and fast cars, so should be okay.
All right, well, the pace car's going to dip off. We're going to let you go, Adam. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Look.
Sorry, I did not want to cut that interview short at all, but we are going back to green. Jake Rowell. Oh, and Bobby Brill gets a little loose there on the start.
Yeah, looks like he spun the tires there. I know we had limited time with Adam. We had a little confusion there, but still got to talk to him for a moment. And Jake Rowell, told you, man. Oh, and caution's back out.
Oh, we got another one. So, and looks like Joseph DuPont was involved. Let's see if we can get back there and find out what's going on with our next wreck replay by Dent Wizard.
So, got another Dent Wizard wreck replay going to the back of the pack. They'll be starting single file this time, I do believe. Let's see what happens.
So it looks like DuPont's back there. Just looks like everybody went to the inside. I'm not really sure who got turned there. We're going to try to get a different view.
Yeah, maybe let's go out and look
there
further ahead of the 44.
Andrew Schroeder from Stryker Motorsports gets a little crazy out there and takes somebody down. So let's see if we can see that one more time here.
Oh yeah, David Duke, DuPont.
So he just gets into that 62, gets him turned. Looks like the 70 with the 71. That's Trevelyan from Stryker Motorsports as well. So a couple of Stryker Motorsports gets in there.
Yeah.
78 of David Duke's involved. Joseph DuPont's involved. A lot of damage there. Not exactly what you want to do, but I'll tell you, I mean, his teammates are both up front, having a great time, but that is not what his teammates wanted to see.
Yeah, not calling them troublemakers, Sean. They got into each other.
They got into each other. It happens, and we've seen that a few times tonight, and I'm sure they will hear that from the team owner later.
It's kind of funny because, you know, Stryker Motorsports was the last minute entry. It's your team. I give you crap about it, but those guys have been running unbelievably well. Those guys have been running great. They've been aggressive, and to see them get into each other there, I mean, it's a racing incident, but it sucks for them because they're going to be out of the race if they don't have any fast repairs left. We're down to, I don't know, what's our lap count here, Sean? We got to be close.
Yeah, we're getting a little too close for comfort. So 13 laps to go. Looks like we're going to have Rowell and Brummett up front. Looks like we're going to go around at least one more time with the pace car.
Yeah, and look who we've got in that third position.
I was going to
Troy
say.
Dow in the number 2. We've talked about him. He's sitting right there. That's blood in the water. He smells it.
Yeah, and then my pick for the race, Bobby Brill up in 4th place, and then Justin Boyles, our independent, just being patient back there in 5th.
Yeah, you got Zimmerman. We hadn't talked about him all night. He's back there. And then look in the 18-car Team SRN, Brandon Browning.
Well, Team SRN definitely needs a big finish tonight. 2 of their guys are actually not racing tonight. Had some stuff going on. So David Duke, and I'm sorry, that's incorrect. So Danny Dow is out there. So one of their guys had mechanical issues on his rig, and so Danny Setzer is not able to race tonight. So those 3, they've got to get in this. So David Duke is a lap down right now. Brandon Browning's up there in 7th, and Danny Dow, he's on the lead lap, but he's in 19th.
Yeah, and Duke, I looked at that last caution when we were in the Dent Wizard Wreck replay. It looked like he got caught up in that. We weren't paying attention to the back. I'm not even sure how he ended up back there running, because at one point he was top 5 for most of this race, I do believe, Sean.
Yeah, it could have been one of those things where it just filtered out with the pace or with the pit stops, and so that kind of thing happens in all motorsports, not just iRacing, but like we said before, a little bit of it is luck and timing, and so sometimes these things happen. But up front, we've got a couple familiar names: Jake Roel and Dean Brummett trying to go 2 in a row.
Yeah, and it looks like our only 2 winners are in 1st and 2nd. We've got another lap to go around here. I'm interested to see how Troy Dow takes this restart, to be honest with you.
We can find that out. Let's see. I just want to look and see. We got one more lap. Hey, let's see if we can get Troy Dow up here.
We'll see what we can do.
A couple Striker Motorsports cars in front of him. He's going to have to do something.
Yeah, for the folks at home, for us getting people up in the booth, it's very similar to how the Wild West was. We still have to send SOS messages through Morse code, but we do have Troy Dow up here, Sean.
Hey, Troy, how's it going, man?
Good. How's it going for y'all?
Man, it is going good. We're just watching you run up front here. You got a couple Striker Motorsports cars in front of you. What are you going to do to get past them?
I'm not really sure. I've been good on the restarts, and I've been good on the long runs. This short run that we're about to have, I really haven't been able to gauge my success on that yet. I've really just been trying to save tires more than anything, and that's not what going to be. This next 10 laps is not going to be about saving tires.
Troy, we're going to be under 10 laps when we take the green flag here. What's your anticipated finish here? What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the race? You think we're going to go green, or you think we'll see another caution?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. What was that one more time?
So we're going to be under 10 laps here. Do you think we're going to go green, or do you think we're going to see another caution?
I bet we'll see one more yellow, but I think one at the max. Everybody's really been racing each other with respect for the most part tonight.
Hey, I'm going to give you one shot here, Troy. Who is the better Dow?
If we're at Bristol, it's definitely my dad. I don't know. It depends on the week, I would say.
Oh, okay. So sounds like a very political answer. Good job.
Yeah, just in case he watches this.
Basically, what you said is, if it's at Bristol, it's your dad. Anywhere else, it's you. Is that what I heard?
I don't think that was what I said, but yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back to it. The pace car's about to dip off, so good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Troy.
All right, once again, we're up here up front. Jake Roel from Striker Motorsports, Dean Brummett from Striker Motorsports, and then Troy Dow, who we just spoke to from Stake Dance Racing. He's going to try to get a run and get past these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here, Sean, because, again, single file restarts with these consecutive cautions. Here they go. Troy's going to have to wheel that thing.
Looks like we might have some damage in the back again. Looks like we're still green.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can keep it clean for these last 9 laps, and we can give everybody that's trying to win the opportunity to do so. Oh, and there's another caution.
There's the yellow. And so let's jump back out again to another wreck replay by Dent Wizard.
Boy, I'll tell you what, those Dent Wizard boys are busy. They get a lot of these wreck replays.
Yeah, it looks like let's see what we can see up here, but there's Schroeder again. It looks like he might get involved here. So, yeah, it looks like O'Shell just kind of went to the outside, didn't have enough room. Not sure if Schroeder kind of ran into him or if that was just O'Shell just getting a little too aggressive on that restart, but that is what happened. Is they just got a little bit into each other.
I don't know. Let's go back and look at O'Shell there, Sean, because I think he had a good run on the outside from what I saw on that angle. Looked like maybe the 44 just came up into him.
Let's see. You know what? Let's go into his cockpit here. Let's see if we can see kind of what happened.
Yeah, the 44 actually.
I don't know. There's just not enough room there. I'm just not sure if that's the 44. I'm not sure if that's O'Shell. That's pretty tight to see. You also see the 55.
55 inside of them there too. Yeah, it looked
so,
like it was everybody was trying to get a jump there, Sean.
Yeah, let's take a look and see if we can see.
Do we have like
different.
an aerial view that we can look at for those cars?
Let's take a look and see what we got from the. There, this is going to be a great view. So, got O'Shell going to the outside. It looks like Schroeder was just trying to get around the 55 there, just trying not to wreck into the back of him as well, and just ran out of room. Not enough room for all three cars. So, does a little bit of damage. That's Gary Ragland in the 55. So, not really sure anybody's really at fault there. Just Schroeder trying to get out to the outside. Didn't really realize that O'Shell was there trying to do the same thing to him. And that's racing.
Yeah, it is racing, and I don't think there's any fault there, but I'm trying to figure out why Ragland wasn't able to take off there. Maybe he just didn't see it. He wasn't tucked up under the other cars. Obviously, those guys were trying to get around him on a slow restart.
All right, well, let's jump back and figure out where we're at up front when that caution happened. Jake Rowell still leading the way. Dean Brummett still in second. Troy Dow still in third. So nothing's really changed up front. Really wasn't enough time to do anything there.
No, but you got Bobby Brill. He's back up there. So, I mean, all these guys we talked about before the race, they're there. Zimmerman, though, up in sixth, and you got Browning now in seventh. So those guys, hadn't talked a lot about them all night. We know what their talent is. Let's see if they can get up there and win this race.
Well, let's just see if we can get somebody else up here in the booth. Let's see if we can talk to Rowell. See if we can talk to our leader here and see if he's got anything for his own teammate.
I'm going to look here, Sean. With all the technology in the world today,
there he is. Jake Rowell up leading the race, buddy. How's it going?
I'll tell you what, it's great, but at the same time, man, the nerves and stress are just running through my veins right now.
Well, you got somebody right behind you. You got your teammate, Dean Brummett, who won last week. You think he's going to let you win this one?
I hope not. I hope he races me for it. But, you know, it'd be awesome to get Striker Motorsports back to back, whether it's him winning it or if I can hold him off here, which I think I got a good chance of doing.
So you got Dean behind you. We all know how Dean races. He's a class act when it comes to racing. You've worked your butt off tonight to get up there. What's been the hardest thing to get up to the front so far tonight?
It's honestly these restarts. Earlier in the race, you got guys 40 laps, haven't even pit yet. Guys coming in, getting two. I've just been sticking to the plan of taking 4 tires and just working my way, slicing and dicing, being careful, but making sure I pick up positions where I need to.
Well, man, you're doing a great job up front. We see you racing hard. You think that right front's going to hold out for you?
I tell you what, we're going to hope it does. Worst case, we're knocking the door off of turn 4 on the white flag.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get back to it.
Jake, one more question while we got you. What's your biggest worry coming to 5 to go?
Honestly, another yellow. Just got to stack them up, re-rack them, and go after it again.
Awesome. Well, take care, man. Good running. Hopefully you can pull this thing out.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good rest of the race.
All right. We will get Jake back down to his teammates there. All right, Thomas, 5 to go. You're Jake Rowell. What are you doing?
I put my elbows out, I close my peripheral off, and I put my foot through the floorboard.
That's spoken like a true champion right there, man. Don't look around, look forward, and go hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think Jake's got a good opportunity here, and Dean does too. But you look back through there, you got Dow, you got Brill, you got Boyles, you got Zimmerman, you got Browning. Those guys, we know they've got the talent. We know they can make the passes. We know we're going to see them in victory lane. Is tonight the night?
Man, there's so much good talent up there, and there's really no way to call this race right now. You've got to give the advantage to Roel, obviously, because he's out front. But, I mean, just look at this roster that's behind him all the way through the top 10. You got Jake Roel, you got Dean Brummett, you got Troy Dow, Bobby Brill, Justin Boyles, Devin Zimmerman, Brandon Browning, Chris Massey from Wild Bill Motorsports, and Mike Lepicki. That's your top 9.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lepicki's there. He's got the talent. You know who I don't see is Pettit. And I know we've lost some ground tonight. He got screwed up in that whole green flag pit stops with the caution flag coming out. Hate to see that because he had about as fast a hot rod as anybody.
Yeah, but we're going to come up to green. Jake Roel gets a wonderful restart.
Here's Troy Dow. Look at him back there.
Looks like Dean Brummett's kind of holding off Troy Dow for a little while there, but Jake Roel just really gets on. Oh, he gets into the wall a little bit there. That's going to let everybody get up to him.
Look at the momentum he lost on that, too. And caution's out. That's what he didn't want to see. We just talked to him. He was talking about it. Dean's going to chase him down.
Yeah, with a little bit of damage there, I'm not sure that's going to help him in the long term. So we do have a wreck replay. Let's see if we can go back and figure out what happened back there. I did not see what happened. All I saw was Jake in the wall.
Yeah, it had to be further back behind. Not sure where it started. Not sure where it happened.
There it is right there. Pettit gets turned by, it looks like, Josh Witt. Let's see if we haven't talked. Go back and see that again.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Josh Witt tonight, so curious to see how that happened. Beautiful views here, though, over the track tonight. So,
yeah, it looks like Josh Witt just kind of got down to the bottom there. Pettit's coming around. Wasn't too terrible there until Josh Witt just kind of gets up into him a little bit. Just comes off that right front, kind of wearing out a little bit. Chad Wampler involved.
Yeah, Wampler gets off and going, but he got some heavy damage there. Hate it for Pettit. The whole front end of that car is gone. You know, not sure. Maybe Witt got on the gas a little too hard. Maybe he just got a little loose coming off the corner. Not sure how it happened, but definitely just a racing incident.
Man, that sort of thing happens, especially here at Atlanta when that right front falls off so much. But we are going to have a green-white checker here. I'm not sure if this is an advantage for Roel or a disadvantage. He did get into the wall.
Well, we'll see. There's so few laps left. We don't know what's going to happen, so we're going to find out here in just a minute.
Well, let's restack this while we have a chance. Let's go back and figure out who our top 10 are right now. So, of course, you got Jake Roel. Look at the damage on the right side there of that Michigan State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely some scratches. That's definitely some caving in. Not sure if that's going to hurt him too badly here, but it definitely is a little bit disconcerting to somebody who already said that he was nervous.
Yeah, and absolutely. He's got damage on the right side of the car. He's running in first. Fast hot rod. He was worried about having another caution. But I'll tell you what, I know that's not Jake Roel sitting in that car, but I bet he's sitting at home being as calm as that guy right now.
I bet. So right behind him, Dean Brummett, last week's winner, also Jake Roel's teammate. But if I know Dean, he wants back-to-back wins. He doesn't care if Jake's his teammate or not. He's not going to wreck him, but he is not going to let him go.
Well, you know, Dean made a comment to me earlier this week about walking in the locker room. I'll leave it at that. I think he can get up there if he tries hard enough.
Yep, and then we got Troy Dow back there in third place. Again, these same top 3. Troy says he's not sure what he's got for these guys, but he is going to put it all to them.
Yeah, and I think he will. We've noticed he's been running a high line kind of on these restarts. I don't know if he's just waiting to set them up and get down low, but we're going to see what he's got here soon.
And then we got our pole sitter, Bobby Brill, and my pick also, by the way, just throwing that out there. Number 1, Bobby Brill from the Do-Gooders. He's back there in 4th.
Hey, these boys been doing good. That's all I got to say. And Bobby Brill's been leading the way on doing good. So he's right there. He's in striking distance.
Yeah, and then we got Justin Boyles, number 8. There, he's in 5th position. He's just that patient driver, but now is the time to go.
I know it says Boyles on the scorecard, but you meant Kevin Harvick, right? Because he's always right there at the end. That guy always puts himself in position. we'll see where he ends up tonight.
All right, well, let's go back. Let's check out a few more since we have one more lap here. So Devin Zimmerman in the 31, that's the Pizzazz Band Ford Mustang there for Tank Racing.
Yeah, and again, Tank Racing, these guys have had some very bad luck the first 2 weeks. They've been into each other. They've been into other teams. We know the talent is better than what they got on the team, or excuse me, better than what's shown up the first 2 weeks. These guys, they can run. Zimmerman's right there.
All right, all the hopes are resting on Brandon Browning for Team SRN to do something here tonight.
Yeah, and you look at that car, it's a little beat up. Not sure what he's going to have for him. I know Brandon's very aggressive, so hopefully he can make some moves here in the last few laps.
All right, the standout member of Wild Bill Motorsports, Chris Massey, up there in 8th position.
Yeah, and Massey's had some good runs. I know he's been putting the work in. You know, Wild Bill Motorsports, it's a new team. It's an interesting team, but Massey's right there in the top 10.
All right, and we got Mike Lipicki also from Tank Racing in that Hooters Ford Mustang.
Yeah, again, you got him and Zimmerman. Lipicki I raced against very hard last season. I know he was very aggressive as a driver. He was very competitive. Like seeing him up here at the top 10.
And we said it before, we'll say it again. Another member of Tank Racing. I told you, they run in packs. AJ Pritchett up in 10th.
Absolutely, 3 of 4 cars in the top 10. These guys have been keeping their nose clean. They've used their fast repairs, though. That's one thing to look for here, Sean, because if we get some cautions here, those guys are going to move towards the back if they get involved in them.
Yep, so it looks like we're going to go one more lap around here, and then we are going to get back to green, hopefully get a finish. We do allow 3 green-white checker attempts.
Yeah, and for the folks at home, the green-white checker attempts, you get 3 tries to try and get this race finished. So basically, the driver in the lead will take the white or the green flag. The next flag he takes is the white flag. If the lead driver takes the white flag without a caution, the race will be over. If a caution comes out before that driver takes the white flag, we're going around again for our second green-white checker. And again, we get 3 of those. So hopefully tonight we can clean this one out or finish this one out very clean.
Well, honestly, with this single file restart, especially on a green-white checker, it's pretty good odds that we're going to get a finish here. It's really hard to catch people in this single file restart.
It is, and we've been watching these guys struggle. I mean, even the guys with better cars, not having the double file, and hopefully their takeaway as drivers and as the team captains, which I know Race Control and Jason Tripp gets with the team captains and talks them through the rules for each race. We've gone to single file because we've had some bad restarts. Hopefully this is motivation for these guys to race a little cleaner and a little smarter so that we don't have to go through this one again.
All right, well, we're going to get the pace car off, and here comes Jake Rowell with a restart. He's hoping that this goes green the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I was very, very disappointed to see there none of those top guys really closed up behind Jake. They left him room, and you can see the results of that right now. Jake's off and running. He takes this white flag here. We're good.
Yeah, it looks like Dean Brummett's going to give him a little bit of competition.
Well, here comes Dean. Let's see what he can do going into 3 and 4. Dean's right there behind him, but look behind them. You've got the 1 car of Brill under Dow.
Yeah, it looks like Dean Brummett's going to go to the outside. Final lap, white flag.
Oh, this is exciting, Sean. This is the racing we've hoped for all season. We've hoped for these guys to run back to the line, racing it out, and here we go. You got 2 Stryker Motorsports cars up there. You got Rowell, you got Brummett, you got Brill behind them. Dow's close behind him. Zimmerman and Boyle's right behind them. Zimmerman's top 5 finish right here if he can finish it.
But looks like Jake Rowell is going to hang on and win the Midnight Cheese Grater 75 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Amazing run, amazing win by Rowell there in the 9. Brummett right behind him. It's awesome. We got, 3 different winners in 3 races?
That's right. 3 different winners, 3 different races, and that doesn't bode well for those people that are not winning because, remember, if you win, you're in. And so if we have 12 different winners, then that means only 3 people can get in on points. So these guys got to get up there and they got to start winning these races.
Absolutely, and not only winning them, but the placement. I think we've got a big shakeup in the points this week based on these finishing positions, and I can't wait to see where that comes out.
And Jake Rowell trying to do a donut, runs into the pit road, runs into the inside pit wall.
Yeah, now he's in reverse there. Oh, you see Brill come down and try and take him out on his victory lap.
That is so much fun to see. But congratulations to Jake Rowell. Let's see if we can get the winners in here. Let's get the entire top three. It looks like we're going to have Bobby Brill in third, Dean Brummett in second, Jake Rowell in third.
Absolutely. So we'll wait on race control here. Actually, who's our third place finisher there?
Bobby
Sean?
Brill. Bobby Brill is our third place finisher. That was my pick for the night. Didn't quite make it all the way, but man, what a great run. He was up front most of the race.
Well, you keep saying that about it being your pick. Is there something I need to pick up on there? So
not a thing. It's not a competition at all. But I'm winning 2-1. Just saying.
Yeah, just so you know. All right, we're gonna bring him up here in the booth. So we're gonna bring him up in the broadcast booth.
Bobby Brill, how's it going, man? Third place finish. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Great run. You were up front most of the race there with that do-gooders car. How does it feel to be up there? And did you have anything left if that went 2 more laps?
It felt good. I mean, I thought if 1 more lap to go, I thought I could have got him, but it played out the way it did. I'm just happy with the third place finish.
Bobby, what was the toughest part about the race tonight?
Just trying to gain positions with all the cautions. And tire management, that was the main thing.
Well, we saw that it was falling off a lot there towards the end, and we even saw Jake Rowell kind of get into the wall a little bit there at the end. We thought that you had a shot to get in there, but, man, just kind of ran out of time. But what a great run all race long, and what a great season so far. The top 3 of this race are also the 3 winners this season so far. So that's a nice little interesting fact.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man. Have a great evening.
All right, you too. Thanks.
All right, Sean, so we're going to go down here and grab Dean, see if he's still around. Be prepared for a very, very colorful.
He was certainly fun last week. I have a feeling he's going to be just as fun this time. Dean Brummett, another fantastic run. Second place. Looks like you just barely missed. 1 more lap, I think you would have had, Jake.
Oh man, it was a good run. Those fresh tires felt real good. Managed to keep the fenders on it the whole race. I don't think I had an incident point the whole thing, so it was definitely a nice night.
Dean, you should have hit Jake in the bumper there. That way you would have got the Corey Knight paints by night clean race highest finish, because both you and Jake kept those cars pretty clean. What was the toughest part of the race for you tonight?
Toughest spot was just trying to go through and kind of navigate a little bit on the restarts. Car was super tight on the restart going into turn 1, and then for the first couple laps behind it, just trying to manage tires when we got that real nice green flag run there. And I started seeing everybody pull off the pit road. I was like, well, why is everybody pitting? And kind of looked down at fuel and said, oh no, we need gas. So I made the decision to pit, and I was maybe 200-300 yards past the commitment cone, and caution came out, and was able to get tires and fuel, restart in third. I was hoping with the way it went I was going to be able to restart in first, but hey, listen, Stryker Motorsports 1-2. I am not going to argue that one of my teammates got a dub tonight at all.
Man, that is awesome. We were saying before, the top 3 of this race are the first place winners of the first 3 races. Do you think this is something that the cream is just rising to the top, or do you think this is just something that's coincidence?
I think with any type of fixed setup racing, I think the cream will always rise to the top. I know that with Bobby Brill, I'm going to give that man a ton of credit for all the practice that he did this week. Every time I turn around, he was practicing, so he had a lot of laps in this car. It just, just looked like he was a little light on the restarts there. Just couldn't really get it to hook up, and I was just fortunate enough to, when I hit the loud pedal, it rear stuck like it was supposed to.
Well, man, what a fantastic race. Congratulations once again. We were looking for a 2 race in a row win streak there for you, but we will take a 1-2 for Stryker Motorsports any day.
Absolutely. I want to thank Striker Motorsports. Want to thank my sponsors, and like I said, want to reach out to my team and tell everyone way to go. Like I said, hey, 2 races, 1 in a row would have been awesome, but 2 Striker Motorsports cars in the playoffs, I'll take that just as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome
All right,
run, Dean. Take care.
All right, and let's see if we can get our winner, Jake Roel, up here. Just spoke to him before that restart. Looks like he held everybody off. And so we are going to get another Striker Motorsports team member in the playoffs automatically. Jake Roel, congratulations, man. What a great restart you got.
I appreciate that, team owner.
Yeah, Jake, I was talking to your team owner earlier. He was wondering why it wasn't Dean up there in the victory lane. What do you got to say about that?
I didn't say that.
You know, I've got a great teammate, and Dean Brummett, Andrew Schroeder, and Travis Trillian, all 4 of us, I think, do a great job at Striker Motorsports. I just knew Dean wasn't going to do anything crazy or stupid and take us both out. So knowing that just gave me an extra bit of confidence to bring it home. That's for sure. I would have done the same thing had it been reverse roles right there.
Well, I'll tell you, he did not hold back. So he definitely tried to stick it up there with you. Bobby Brill, he kind of pushed a little bit there at the end as well. So we did see you get into the wall right before that last caution. So we were a little worried about your right side there. Was there any fear about that?
You know, there definitely was fear because it was right after you guys asked what I was worried about. And sure enough, it was that yellow. And about 10 seconds before that, I knocked the door off of it coming out of 2. So I was a little worried, but, you know, having the teammate behind me definitely kind of put the ice back in the veins, and we went to work with it.
Well, man, that is awesome.
Jake, definitely to Sean's point, coming off the wall there, that last restart and having the caution, nobody was really tucking up on that single file restart, and you got a heck of a run coming off. Did you have any worries at that point with 3 to go?
You know, I didn't, honestly. I kind of changed it up. That's the thing on restarts. If you keep doing the same thing, guys are going to know what you're going to do, get an advantage on you. So it's kind of like a pitcher. That's why they got multiple pitches to throw, and, you know, just gave them the curveball there at the end and brought it home.
Well, buddy, what a great curveball you threw there, and congratulations on winning this race. You are in the playoffs.
I know, it's the best feeling ever. 3 races in. You know, Bristol wasn't exactly the shiningest moment, but glad to grab the W here and lock myself into those playoffs. That is for sure.
Well, buddy, enjoy it tonight.
Jake.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys, as always.
All right, take care.
All right. Well, so Thomas, is this a little bit easier to race now that you know you're locked in the playoffs, or is this something that now you're going to push even harder?
Well, I think for our guys that are locked in the playoffs, it's a little bit easier to race. The pressure's off. You're just out there running now. I can speak from experience in telling you that sweating, freaking out, doing the practices, trying to get in the playoffs, running those races are completely different from when you get that first win and you know you're in the playoffs and you can sit back with your team and say, you know what, guys, let's just run a smart race. You don't take the risks that you normally would if you weren't in the playoffs, and these guys are going to feel that going down the stretch this season, and they're going to feel it because they're race winners early on. They've still got 10 more weeks to go, Sean, before we even get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they got a lot of time to get in, a lot of time to defend that position. But let's talk about next week's race. Next week is going to be a little bit interesting, Thomas.
It is. So next week, Mid-South Madness is going to the Roval. We're going to Charlotte Motor Speedway. This, in my opinion, is the toughest road course on the circuit. Yeah, I'm not even sure why NASCAR did it. It's that tough.
Well, we're going to call it the Between the Lines 70. We're going to call it that because it is so hard to stay between the lines on this track. It is one of my favorite tracks, actually, just because it spreads people out so much.
And hopefully what we're going to bring to you next week, Sean, is we're going to bring, along with TR's Corner and some of our other pre-race media, we're going to bring to you a couple of laps or maybe a lap around the track and talk you through it for our viewers at home to understand what these guys are having to do lap in and lap out as they run against each other.
Yeah, it is definitely a tough track, but we're going to see a couple different guys up front more than likely. I mean, of course, it's you never know, but you know, Joseph DuPont, Daniel Bowdler, those are 2 of the best road course racers we have in this league. You can pretty safely bet that they're going to be near the top.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we've also found some other guys coming into season 2. If you had to bet me $1 in season 1, which we're ending up losing a lot of dollars here this season, Sean, to each other, I would have picked one of those two guys between DuPont and Bowdler. But I can tell you, we've seen some other guys come in that we've run some road course practices with. You're going to be surprised by some of the names up there next week.
All right, well, next week we're going to have a great time with it. We hope to see all of you there. If you have not subscribed to the stream, go ahead and subscribe to the stream so that way you can see when we come online. We do sometimes broadcast some other races from this league just throughout the week, just some practice races and that sort of thing. So you can get to know these drivers really, really well. Pick your favorites, have a great time with it. But for tonight, I am Sean Griffith with Thomas Rutherford, my broadcast partner, signing off. Have a great evening.
Take care.